What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Another Inventor Fridays little tip here. And I want to talk about how do you source in China without them knowing what you're doing? Seems crazy, right? If you're going to buy something in China, how would they not know what you're doing? Well, you can do a little bit of trick here. And this is, something a consultant would pay $20,000 to do this little trick for. So you're welcome. Ready? We're doing our little project here, right? So I've been dragging a little bit, but so we got a COTS part here, right? This is just a standard commercial off the shelf. We're going to buy this. We're going to have some sort of band, whether this is a different band or some kind of band. And then we got our little custom copper part and obviously a little thing to hold it. You would obviously also need a box. Obviously, this is going to be our box. But so this whole package together here, this is your product, right? And, whatever product you're doing, it's going to be contained in some sort of box, right? So you want to get that quoted. Say the product's low cost. It's not a made in USA product. Typically products that are going to be under $100 are going to be difficult to make in the United States. Not always, but let's just say you're going to look at an international sourcing situation. So let's look at that just a little bit more. So let's go to our fancy dancy. So you can use Alibaba. Everybody's terrified of Alibaba, right? Oh my God, they're going to steal the idea. Well, not if you do it this way. So here's a company. We got just some bands here. And you can just scroll and search just like you would on eBay or Amazon for various companies with various bands and look for options. Now, so we're going to need a band. We're going to need we're going to need some machine parts, right? We got that little copper piece. So we're going to want some machine parts. So you can just go to Alibaba, look up machine parts. And then you're going to need this electrical connector. And there's obviously already commercial off the shelf ones because these are made in China all over the place. And so the key here is maybe you don't have IP yet. Maybe you don't have any kind of protection yet, but you want to get some costs. You want to know, is this product even feasible? What are the costs at maybe a first 100 run prototype or a first 1,000 run prototype? And if it's clever, if it's unique, you don't want to disclose this whole package as a single option to quote. What you're going to do, because you're not sourcing anything yet, you're just getting prices, is you're going to individually just submit the copper part to a machine company. You're going to quote a band to a band company, right? So just ask for bands and volumes, just ask for this particular part in volumes, just ask for this particular cable in volumes, and also look at particular packaging. But don't say or put on any of the information you're going to be putting on later. So this creates a condition where you can get the costs of all the individual pieces without the final assembly and allows you to basically say, hey, the bill of materials is going to be somewhere around, $3, $10, $50, whatever it's going to be. Tooling is going to be somewhere around this. And later, what you're going to do is you're going to bring all of that together. Now, you can individually purchase these components and then send them to an assembly house and say, hey, I just want to buy these parts from you and assemble them here, buy this part, assemble them here, always ship. You can do that. It's really not that difficult. It's just like communicating with everyday normal people. Chinese people are really great. And that is a really, really simple and clever way to make sure you don't say, hey, here's everything I'm doing and what it is, as well as the logos. And when they ask about what it is, you don't need to tell them. Just say, I'm investigating a product. This is just an internal machine part, or I'm just looking at investigating a new product. And they enjoy working with small samples. So anyway, this was a really quick and dirty tip for Inventor Fridays, but you don't have to disclose all of your information to a single source in China at once. Distribute the parts, take it apart, break them into pieces, quote them individually, keep the communication separate, and you don't have near as much IP infringement risk by letting a single supplier know the entirety of the problem. One more final tip. On Alibaba, when you go into some of these base categories here, or you're just sort of searching for things, they have some tools and some help centers for suppliers and buyers up here at the top, so AI sourcing agent, some of these things, this is a big mistake, okay? Huge mistake. Do not use these, okay? Why? Because what it's going to do is it's going to take your idea, this whole package idea, and it's going to throw it out to every company that's willing to be on that list. That's a faster way to have an IP issue get stolen, right? Because not everybody's necessarily interested in actually sourcing your product or the business. They're just looking at the idea, right? So when you go onto Alibaba and you're working with some of these vendors the first time and you see a right up here, actually here, oh, there it is right there. I'm going to zoom in this for you. We're going to go ahead and, sorry. Not firing on all cylinders today, so let's Control plus right up here. See, request quotation. Do not request a quotation. That is a bad move on Alibaba. That's how it gets distributed, and you get bombarded with messages. It is so difficult to decipher who's willing to do what, who's not stealing. So anyway, probably just, saved you guys, or some of you, tens of thousands of dollars. So you're welcome. Happy Friday. And I hope you work on your invention this weekend. Have a great day. Contact me if you're interested in developing your product or looking for next week's inventor meeting on the 24th, 7 p.m. We're going to be checking in and I can give a little more updates on this. So have a great day. Outro.